Hey guys, it's me, Lisa ASMR. I gotta get that tapping in. So before I get into reading, I don't know if you can hear, but it's raining outside, which is a nice little addition. At least I think so, because I love rain. I'm gonna tell you about my night. So, we were gonna go to some bars, but it was raining. So we decided to go to a restaurant, and we sat at the bar. And I know some people like to chit chat with other people at the bar, but I was with my sister and roommate, so talking with them. Well, this lady who could probably be my grandma, pretty sure she could be my grandma from what she was saying the age of her parents were. She sat down beside, there was a chair between me and her, an empty chair. So she was 2 seats to the right of me. And we were ordering. Well, no, first she sat down and a young bus boy came up and she's like, "Are you even old enough to serve?" And he's like, "No." She's like, "Yeah, I didn't think so." I was like, okay, this lady is gonna be interesting. So our bartender came back and she was bringing us our drinks and she was asking us if we wanted to order anything. And my roommate ordered. And then as she was looking at my sister to see what she wanted to order, the lady so rudely interrupted and yelled, "I want a Bud Light, ma'am." And I was like, that's rude. And the bartender is like, "Okay, well, let me get their orders first, and then I'll come help you." So I could tell my sister was still thinking about what to order. So I ordered, and then shoot, did I remember to put my food in the fridge? Hopefully I remember to check after this video. Anyways, so I ordered, and then my sister's like, "Oh, never mind, the appetizer will be good enough." Well, while my sister was thinking, the lady was like, "Hey, is that a food menu?" to me. I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "Can I have it?" I was like, "Sure, lady." You're so impatient. You're rude. You've interrupted us ordering. You're interrupting my sister ordering to ask me about my menu. Can you just be patient? And then when the bartender went to get her order, the lady was like, because she was on the phone. So you're rushing the lady and rushing the bartender, interrupting us from ordering so you could order your drink, and then rushing her to come get your order, and when you finally were asked what your order was, told her to shh. Really? No, ma'am. No. That is horrible etiquette. Let me teach you some proper etiquette. So anyways, bartender leaves, which by the way she gave her the Bud Light while getting her order still because she's an amazing bartender. And I wrote on my receipt that I was sorry that she had to deal with such a rude lady. And anyways, so I'm trying to lean towards my sister and everything, and the lady interrupts. She's like, "Oh, what are you drinking? It looks good." And I said my drink, and she's like, "Water?" And I'm like, "Yeah, and water." And I say water like water. and pronounce it how it's spelled. And she's like, oh, where are you from? I was like, I'm from Ohio. I didn't move here from Ohio, which I didn't say. And I usually tell people that because they give Ohioans such a problem. But I didn't. I just said from Ohio. I'm originally from Ohio, and I'm proud of it. So first, she said, "Oh yeah, I have a friend from Ohio. They live at like Harbor View Heights." And I was like, "I don't know about that. I know about Huber Heights." She said, "No, they never called it Huber Heights. Even though you're struggling to remember what it was called, and you weren't even sure if it's Harbor View Heights, but you know for sure now it's Harbor View Heights." Okay, which you might be right. Who knows? I don't know every single town in Ohio. Though I know a lot, I don't know every single one. So I'm like, yeah, it's a nice state. And she's like, I don't know about that. You don't know about that because you've never been there, lady. Don't be starting right now because that is my home state and I will whoop your ass. Didn't say that yet. She's an old lady. Probably on something. Didn't say anything at that point. I said, yeah, with a lot of nice people. She's like, yeah, maybe, but everyone keeps moving down here. No, ma'am. No, they're not. Oh, yes, they are. Everyone I meet is from Ohio. Oh, I had customers today from Ohio and from up north. Everyone's coming here. Okay, but the majority aren't from Ohio. Yeah, they are. Well, at least they're helping your economy. Trying really hard to stay positive. No, I don't think so. You're invading my territory. Okay, lady. I had it. Tried to be nice. Not gonna take it anymore because I'm so tired of people hating on Ohio. So I said, ma'am, I'm gonna stop this before it gets real ugly. You do what you have to do. Oh, ma'am, trust me, I am, because it's gonna get real ugly real quick. And I turn away from her. And then she talks to the other lady at the other end of the bar. Asks her where she's from. Lady said Russia. Oh, I guess she doesn't mind anyone from Russia. She only hates the Ohioans. It gets so old sometimes. I just want. I literally debated on throwing a glass of water on her because of how rude she was to me. And because the type of week I had, I was like, you know what? Like, I'm done. I'm done with people's BS. I've never thrown a glass of water on anyone in my life before, but if there was a moment in my life, I think this would be it. I was like, Lisa, she's an old lady. She'll probably call the cops on you. So I was like, alright, let me not throw a glass of water on her, even though she fully deserves it. So, glass of water clean, and then a man showed up. That's her friend. And I heard her like, oh, she's having something that looks really good. Well, lady, if you were still nice, or if you were nice to me and weren't a bitch, maybe I would have told you what my food was. But you're unwelcoming, and I'm invading your territory, so screw off. Sorry if that was a bit much. I apologize for my cussing and for flipping off, because I don't like to flip people off or anything or show that, but she fully deserved it. Alright. I'm finally gonna read The Girl Who Played with Fire by Stieg Larsson. So I'm just going to start at the top of the page. Sound good? Sound good. The next moment, she was gone. He heard a faint click as she turned the front door key. It was as if a ghost had paid him a visit. At that instant, he began to loathe Lisbeth Salander with an intensity that blazed like red-hot steel in his brain and transformed his life into an obsession to crush her. He fantasized about killing her. He toyed with fantasies of having her crawl at his feet and beg him for mercy, but he would be merciless. He would put his hands around her throat and strangle her until she gasped for air. He wanted to tear her eyes from their sockets and her heart from her chest. He wanted to erase her from the earth. Paradoxically, it was at this... sorry, for some reason, I can't breathe right when I'm talking right now, I guess. Paradoxically, it was at the same moment that he felt as though he had begun to function again, and he deserved... That weird sound is my retainer. I'm so sorry. It's like that weird, wind sound when I'm saying the S's. I hope it doesn't bother you. Okay, it's bothering me. Give me a second. I'm gonna pull this out. Okay. Much better, right? Let's see. See. I can say S's without that weird wind. Alright. He was obsessed with the woman and she was on his mind every waking minute. But he had begun to think rationally again. If he was going to find out a way of destroying her, he would have to get his head in order. His life settled on a new objective. He stopped fantasizing about her death and began planning for it. Ooh. Blankovist passed less than 6 feet behind Advocate German's back as he navigated with 2 scalding glasses of cafe latte to editor-in-chief Erica Berger's table at Cafe Hedon. Neither he nor Berger had ever heard of Nils German, so neither was aware of his being there. Berger frowned and moved an ashtray aside to make room for her glass. Blomqvist hung his jacket over the back of his chair, slid the ashtray over to his side of the table, and lit a cigarette. Berger detested cigarette smoke and gave him a furious look. He turned his head to blow the smoke away from her. I thought you gave up. Temporary black sliding. Wait, shoot. Yep, okay, good. I'm going to stop having sex with guys who smell of smoke, she said, smiling sweetly. No problem, there are plenty of girls who aren't so particular, Blomqvist said, smiling back. Berger rolled her eyes. So, what's the problem? I'm meeting Charlie at the theater in 20 minutes. Charlie was Charlotta Rosenberg, a childhood friend. Our intern bothers me, Blomqvist said. I don't mind her being the daughter of one of your girlfriends, but she's supposed to be an editorial for another 8 weeks, and I don't think I can put up with her that long. I've noticed the hungry glances she's been casting your way. Naturally, I expect you to behave like a gentleman. Erica, the girl's 17 and has the mental age of 10, and I may be erring on the generous side. Is that what I was reading before? Pretty sure. Why can't I find it? Okay, whatever. So, I'm assuming Salander is that girl who was with that kid. So at least she was a teenager too. So I don't have to freak out about that. Okay. She's just impressed. Probably a little hero worship. At 10:30 last night, she rang the entry phone on my building and wanted to come up with a bottle of wine. Oops, Berger said. Oops is right. If I were 20 years younger, I might not have even hesitated. I'm going to be 45 any day now. Don't remind me, we're the same age. The Warnerstrom affair had given Blomqvist a certain celebrity. Over the past year, he had received invitations to the most improbable places, parties, and events. He was greeted with air kisses from all sorts of people he had hardly shaken hands with before. They are not primarily media people. He knew all of them already and was on either good or bad terms with them. Bestow cultural figures and B-list celebrities now wanted to appear as though they were his close friends. Now was the thing to have Michael Blomqvist as your guest at a launch party or a private dinner. Sounds lovely, but unfortunately I'm already booked up, was becoming a routine response. One downside of his star status was an increasing rash of rumors. An acquaintance had mentioned with concern that he heard a rumor claiming that Blomqvist had been seen at a rehab clinic. In fact, Blomqvist's total drug intake since his teens consisted of half a dozen joints and one experiment with cocaine, 15 years earlier with a female singer in a Dutch rock band. As to alcohol, he was only ever seriously intoxicated at private dinners or parties. In a bar, he would seldom have more than one large, strong beer. He also liked to drink medium strong beer. His drinks cabinet at home had vodka and a few bottles of single malt scotch, all presents. It was absurd how rarely he indulged in them. Blomqvist was single. The fact that he had occasional affairs was known both inside and outside his circle of friends, and that had led to further rumors. His long-lasting affair with Erica Berger was frequently the subject of speculation. Lately it had been bandied about that he had picked up any number of women and was exploiting his new celebrity status to screw his way through the clientele of Stockholm's night spots. An obscure journalist had once even urged him to seek help for his sex addiction. Blomqvist had indeed had many brief relationships. He knew he was reasonably good-looking, but he had never considered himself exceptionally attractive. But he had often been told that he had something that made women interested in him. Berger had told him that he had radiated self-confidence and security at the same time, that he had an ability to make women feel at ease. Going to bed with him was not threatening or complicated, but it might be erotically enjoyable. And that, according to Blomqvist, was as it should be. Blomqvist's best relationships had been with women he knew well and whom he liked a lot, so it was no accident that he'd begun an affair with Berger 20 years earlier, when she was a young journalist. His present renown, however, had increased women's interest in him to a point that he found bizarre. Most astonishing were the women who made impulsive advances in unexpected circumstances. But Blomqvist was not turned on by teenagers with miniskirts and perfect bodies. When he was younger, his women friends had often been older than he. In some cases, considerably older and more experienced. Over time, the age difference had evened out. Solander had definitely been a step in the other direction, and this was the reason for his hastily called meeting with Berger. Millennium had taken on a media school graduate for work experience as a favor to one of Berger's friends. This was nothing unusual. They had several interns each year. Blomqvist had said a polite hello to the girl and rapidly discovered that she only had the vaguest interest in journalism beyond that the wanted to be seen on TV, and that Blomqvist suspected at present it was quite a coup to work at Millennium. She did not miss an opportunity to be in close contact with him. He pretended not to notice her blatant advances, but that only induced her to redouble her efforts. Quite simply, it was becoming tiresome. Berger burst out laughing. Good Lord, you're being sexually harassed at work. Ricky, this is a drag. There's no way I want to hurt or embarrass her, but she's no more subtle than a mare in heat. I'm worried what she might come up with next. She's got a crush on you, and she's too young to know how to express herself. You're wrong. She knows damn well how to express herself. There's something warped about how far she goes, and she's getting annoyed that I'm taking the bait. I don't need a new wave of rumors making me out to be some lecherous rock star type on the hunt for a nice lay. Okay, but let me get to the nub of the problem. She rang your doorbell last night. Is that the extent of it? With a bottle of wine. She said she'd been to a party at a friend's house close by and tried to make it look like pure chance that she found herself in my building. What did he tell her? I didn't let her in, obviously. I said that she'd come at an awkward time and that I had a friend there. How did she take that? She was really upset, but she did leave. What do you want me to do? Get her off my back. I'm thinking of having a serious talk with her on Monday. Either she lays off or I'll kick her out of the office. Berger thought for a minute. Let me have a talk with her. She's looking for a friend, not a lover. I don't know what she's looking for, but Michael, I've been through what she's going through. I'll talk to her. Like everyone else who had watched TV or read an evening paper in the past year, German had heard of Michael Blomqvist, but he did not recognize him in the cafe he'd won. And in any case, he had no idea that there was a connection between Solander and Millennium. Besides, he was too wrapped up in his own thoughts to pay attention to his surroundings. Ever since the lifting of his mental paralysis, he had been continuously circling around and around the same conundrum. Solander had in her possession a video of his assault on her, which she had recorded with a hidden camera. She had made him watch the video. There was no room for favorable interpretations. If I ever get to the guardianship agency, or God forbid if it ended up in the hands of the media, his career, his freedom, and his life would be over. He knew the penalties for aggravated rape, exploitation of a person in subordinate position, abuse and aggravated abuse. He reckoned he would get at least 6 years in prison. A zealous prosecutor might use one section of the video as the basis for a charge of attempted murder. He had all but asphyxiated her during the rape when he had excitedly pressed a pillow over her face. He devoutly wished he had finished the job. They would not accept that she was the whole time playing a game. She had enticed him with her cute little girl eyes, had seduced him with a body that looked like a 12-year-old's. She had provoked him to rape her. They would never see that she had in fact put on a performance. She had planned. The first thing he would have to do was to gain possession of the video and make sure somehow that there was no copies. That was the crux of the problem. There was no doubt in his mind that a witch like Solander would have made enemies over the years. Here, German had an advantage. Unlike anyone else who might try to get at her, he had access to all her medical records, welfare reports, and psychiatric assessments. He was one of the very few people in Sweden who knew her secrets. The personal file that the agency had copied to him when he agreed to serve as her guardian had been a mere 15 pages that mainly presented a picture of her adult life. A summary of the assessment made by a court-appointed psychiatrist, the district court's ruling to place her under the guardianship, and her bank statements for the preceding year. He had read the file over and over. Then he had begun systematically to gather information on Solander's life. As a lawyer, he was well practiced in extracting information from the records of public authorities. As her guardian, he was able to penetrate the layers of confidentiality surrounding her medical records. He could get a hold of every document he wanted that dealt with Solander. It had nevertheless taken months to put together her life detail by detail. From her first elementary school reports to social workers' reports to police reports and transcripts from the district court. He had discussed her condition with Dr. Jesper H. Lutterman, the psychiatrist who on her 18th birthday had recommended that she be institutionalized. Lutterman gave him a rundown of the case. Everyone was helpful. A woman at the welfare agency had even praised him for showing such determination to understand every aspect of Solander's life. He found a real goldmine of information in the form of 2 notebooks and a box gathering dust in the archive of the guardianship agency. Alright, give me one moment. I just need to get water, which I have right over my bed. notebooks had been compiled by German's predecessor, the lawyer Holger Palmgren, who had apparently come to Solander as well as to better than anyone. Palmgren had conscientiously submitted a report each year to the agency, and German supposed Solander had probably not known that Palmgren had also made meticulous notes for himself. Palmgren's notebooks had ended up with the guardianship agency, where it seemed no one had read their contents since he had suffered a stroke 2 years earlier. But they were the original, so there's no indication that copies had ever been made. Perfect. Palmgren's picture of Solander was completely different from what could be deduced from the Welfare Agency report. He had been able to follow her laborious progress from an unruly teenager to young women to employ at Milton Security, a job she has obtained through Palmgren's own contacts. German learned from those notes that Solander was by no means a slow-witted office junior who did the photocopying and made coffee. On the contrary. Sorry, I laughed because I just was thinking about a comment earlier, like weeks ago, during my live stream. My brain can't focus, I'm sorry. Anyways, German learned from those notes that Solander was by no means a slow-witted office junior who did the photocopying and made coffee. On the contrary, she had a real job, carrying out real investigations for Dragan Armansky, Milton's CEO. Palmgren and Armansky obviously knew each other well and exchanged information about their protege from time to time. Solander seemed to have only two friends in her life. Palmgren was out of the picture now. Armansky remained and could possibly be a threat. German decided to steer clear of Armansky. The notebooks had explained a lot. German had understood how Solander had discovered so much about him. He could not for the life of him see how she had found out about his visit to the plastic surgery clinic in France, but much of the mystery surrounding her had vanished. She had made a living burrowing into other people's lives. He at once took fresh precautions with his own investigations and decided that since Solander had access to his apartment, it was not a good idea to keep any papers there that dealt with her case. He gathered all summer cabin, all the documentation, and filled a cardboard box to take to his summer cabin near Stallerholm, where he was spending more and more of his time in solitary brooding. The more he read about Solander, the more convinced he became that she was pathologically unwell. He shuddered to remember how she had handcuffed him to his bed. He had been totally under her control then, and he did not doubt that she would make good her threat to kill him if he provoked her. She lacked social ambitions, one of her reports stated, while he could conclude a stage or two further. She was sick, murderous, insane fucking person, a loose cannon, a whore. Palmgren's notebooks had provided German with the final key. On several occasions he had recorded very personal diary-type accounts of conversations he had with Solander. Crazy old man, in these two conversations he had used expression. When all the evil happened, presumably Palmgren had borrowed the expression directly from Solander, but it was not clear what event it referred to. German wrote down the words, all the evil, the years in foster homes, some particular attack. Explanation ought to be there in the documentation to which he already had access. He opened the psychiatric assessment of Solander as an 18-year-old and read it through for the 5th or 6th time. There had to be a gap in this knowledge. He had excerpts from journal entries from elementary school, an affidavit to the effect that Solander's mother was incapable of taking care of her, and reports from various foster homes during her teens. Something had set off a madness when she was 12. There were other gaps in her biography. He discovered, to his great surprise, that Solander had a twin sister had not been referred to in any of the material to which he had previously had access. My God, there are 2 of them? But he could not find any reference to what had happened to the sister. The father was unknown, and there was no explanation as to why her mother could not take care of her. German had supposed that she became ill, and that as a result of the whole process had begun, including with spells in the children's psychiatric unit. But now he was sure that something had happened to Solander when she was 12 or 13. all the evil, a trauma of some kind, but there was no indication in the Holmgren's notes as to what all evil could have been. In the psychiatric assessment, he finally found a reference to an attachment that was missing. The number of police report dated March 12, 1991. It was handwritten in the margin of the copy from the Social Welfare Agency archive. When he put in a request for the report, he was told that it was stamped top secret by order of His Royal Highness, but that he could file an appeal with the relevant government department. German was stymied. The fact that the police report dealing with the 12-year-old girl was classified was not in itself surprising. There could be all manner of reasons for the protection of privacy, but he was Solander's guardian and had the right to study in any document at all which concerned her. He could not understand why gaining access to such a report should require an appeal to the government department. He submitted his application. 2 months passed before he was informed that his request had been denied. What could there be in a police report when he was 14 years old about so young a girl to classify it top secret? What possible threat could it contain to Sweden's government? He returned to Palmgren's diary, trying to tease out what might be meant by all the evil, but he found no clue. It had been discussed between Palmgren and his ward, but never written down. The references to all the evil came at the end of the second notebook. Perhaps Palmgren had never had time to write up his own conclusions about this apparently crucial series of events before he had his stroke. Sorry. That caught me off guard so bad, and the video's about to end. Palmgren had been Solander's trustee from her 13th birthday and her guardian from the day she turned 18, so he had been involved shortly after all the evil had taken place, and Solander was put away in the children's psychiatric unit. Chances were that he knew about everything that had happened. German went back to the archive of the guardianship agency, this time to find the detailed brief of Palmgren's assignment drawn up by the Social Welfare Agency. At first glance, the description was disappointing. 2 pages of background information. Solander's mother is now incapable of upbringing her daughter. The 2 children had to be separated. Camilla Solander was placed through Social Welfare Agency in a foster home family. Elizabeth Solander was confined at St. Stephen's Children's Psychiatric Clinic. No alternative was discussed. Oh my gosh, I'm surprised it didn't cut me off. Much love, just in case. Well, it's definitely gonna cut me off. It's just a matter of seconds. Or did it already cut me off and it's just starting in the sequel video? Well, I guess I better just shut this off and see, because I don't want to be wasting my time when I can be making another video. And it's 3:45 in the morning right now. Much love. Good night, just in case.